realtor said there's really no place to build a home. He said, I'm on the zoning commission, and I can tell you right now, there's probably 20 neighborhoods where you could build. If that was a one-off situation, but it's not. It happens all
everywhere.
the time. And you start going, man, if I was a buyer, I mean, who's going to put up with that?
Now, is this more beneficial in like metro and city areas than it is the rural areas? Or, I mean, is the networking just as strong, or is it available in the areas that are less populated as well?
It's available across the United States, and it's been interesting. That's a great question, really, because even in small little cities, I mean, we've gone into small towns where it's like, you know, there's not that many neighborhoods where you could build.
Yeah,
and
there should be less restrictions. Yeah.
There's just not, in smaller towns, and it's never failed. I mean, every place we go, I can go talk to a builder or the head of the Realtors or the HBA, and they don't even know. If I say, well, how many neighborhoods are there where somebody could build? Don't know. Well, how many builders? Who are all the builders that are my builder options? Don't know. I can tell you the ones that are part of the Home Builders Association.
Right.
But that's only, generally represents about 15% of the overall number of builders. You asked about numbers. So when the HBA started talking to us about this, I started drilling down into this. Turns out that, and I should have made a pie chart, and look more techie if I had a pie chart here. But, about 10% of home buyers, all the home buyers in the United States on a given year will choose new construction. Okay. So that's kind of a median, right? I think it's the right word. But it's on a bad new construction year, it's around 8%. On a really good one, it's a little bit over 12%, but right in the middle, 10% buy a new home. That might be a condo, it might be a stick build, it might be a, whatever, different types of structures. But here was the interesting number on it, so I had that number, and then, about a year later, and I just kept researching. I found a research done by the National Association of Realtors. Mm-hmm. And every year NAR researches 7,000 home buyers, and they do this big survey, only survey of its kind. They ask one question about new construction. I'm lobbying to try to get them to ask more.
Yeah.
They ask one question about new construction. They ask all these 7,000 home buyers, would you prefer to have new construction? And the number that comes back year in, year out, 59%. So let's round that up to 60%.
Yeah.
And, you start looking at these things and you're going, well, wait a second. So 10% buy new construction, 60% say they want to. And, we've already done the research where we started drilling down into the buyers, because I was finding all kinds of buyers that are going, oh yeah, I'd rather have new. And it's like, well, okay, so why aren't we looking at new construction? And so we started commissioning teams to go in and survey potential new construction buyers and find out if you wanted to build and you didn't, why? And we found out that they're scared to death of it. Yeah. And the industry doesn't even really realize it. It's friction, right?
And it's like I said a minute ago, it's so complex at that.
Right.
What did you say, Sean?
I can relate.
Yeah, you're right there in the middle of that. Yeah, that answers the question. So 6 out of every 10 would have rather built than bought.
Yeah, and so we call those dreamers. Yeah. You got your, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they have a dream home.
Yeah.
And 10% are doers. 10% actually pull the trigger and go, let's figure this out. Let's do it. I know it's going to be scary, but let's go build our dream home. And so you think about that. For every one person that builds, there are 5 more that say that they want to.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you see, in these questions that they would have to get answered to be able to complete that process of locating the property, doing everything, they would expect their realtor to know. And you're saying the realtors don't even know.
The realtors don't know. And to make that even a little bit more complex, we started drilling down into the numbers, and what we found out on realtors is less than 0.1% of realtors specialize in new construction.
Yeah.
So that's
or something flipping or something like that.
About 1 in 1,000. So, big cities like, Dallas, Fort Worth, Orlando and stuff, there'll be 35, 40,000 realtors. And you got a very, very small handful that actually, a lot of them have, they've sold a new construction house or two, but there's only a very, very small number that I would consider as a fiduciary that, they've done this enough times that I want them walking me through it, and they really know the options.
Yeah. And they can't meet that expectation because they're inexperienced. Most of their experience in the real estate world has been flipping homes or helping sell home, even though it may be a new constructed home, they're just selling it at the end. The process of building it, they're not familiar with.
So, it doesn't make them, that didn't make them a bad realtor, just they haven't specialized.
No.
But the picture that we started to unfold for us was, you got this big population of buyers that are being just really, really dramatically underserved.
Yes, absolutely.
And
that's said. Very well said.
Yeah.
Wow. So that is something very interesting. And like I said, I'm glad we're having this interview and asking these questions because I didn't know this. I didn't know it was such a gap to be bridged between home buyers and even, realtors. And now, of course, the home builder as well. So this platform can tie these players together.
Yeah, and so ultimately what it is, and so since then, we've got mortgage companies that are getting in touch, architects, title companies, home warranty, and others, and so what Hoodle becomes as we move forward is really a one-stop shop, in kind of the de facto location you're going to go to on the web.
Yeah.
To be able to walk through that process and really see all the builders and how do they compare and what do they build. Every builder has different floor plans. They have different products they use. They have different price points, different types of experience and specialty.
Right.
And so we're just trying to really make it very, very simple for the buyers.
Yeah, it is. And that makes perfect sense. Okay. And like I said, I can't believe anyone else hasn't addressed this, so loudly, because this seems like you said, the numbers are there. That many people are electing to just throw their hands up and say, all right, I'd just rather buy because the process is just so difficult to try to build. And I'm the same way. I get that because I would rather build myself. I'll be one of your dreamers, if you want to call it. My dream home is in my head, we'll say, and I'd rather build it rather than settle for the nearest thing I can find that's already built. You know what I mean?
So when we started getting into this, it was like it really became fascinating because we didn't know we were doing it, but as we would travel, we'd go to different places. We'd go to Chicago. We're up in Naperville and stuff, and we're in different towns and stuff. I won't mention the names of the towns right off, but big city, small city, and I could walk into any brokerage. And I could even find somebody, that is advertising themselves as a realtor, that says, I'm a new construction specialist. And we went into one town. So there was this beautiful town that we love to visit, and kind of a Victorian community. Mm-hmm. And, whenever my wife and I go there, it's like, man, this would be a great place to build.
Right.
I wonder what they got here. I wonder what's, it's just absolutely beautiful area. And so we go into this realtor's office, and he's like, well, there's nothing here. There's no building going on. It's like, oh, all right. So, we went away and we just said, oh, our dreams are a little bit dashed, but but we're going to build someplace else. And then about 6 months later, it was her birthday. She calls me up, or she, my wife says, hey, I want to go back there again for my birthday. Let's go. So we go up there, we drive up there, and this time we're staying at this bed and breakfast. And, we're checking into this place, and Sean, the guy's, writing out his receipt for us, and says, so what do you guys do? He's handing me the receipt. And I said, well, we got this website for people that want to build new homes. And he starts looking at me, tell me about it. So I tell him a little bit about it. He says, well, when are you going to bring it here? And I didn't want to bench the guy. He obviously didn't know, because I've already talked to a realtor, and the realtor said there's no home building going on here.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we thought about it, but realtor said there's really no place to build a home. He said, well, he said, I'm on the zoning commission, and I can tell you right now there's 17, 18, no, there's probably 20 neighborhoods where you could build. And so now here's what's interesting. If that was a one-off situation, but it's not. It happens all
Everywhere.
the time. And then so he said, well, he said, you talked to the wrong realtor. You need to go talk to the one across the street. So we go over the next day, we go over to this other realtor, and it was kind of the same thing. She's like, and she was kind of offended, when I said, she's like, well, why would anybody need a website like that? She's like, I said, because they don't know.
They don't know.
And she said, well, we know exactly how many neighborhoods there are. And she barks at some guy, that works for her, and say, get that out of the drawer. It's in the drawer over there. And he comes back. He said, we don't have that information. And so she quickly grabs a map. She's drawing things out. Well, let's see, there's one over on this, and you drive down this road, and if you go over here and down this road, there's $1 million neighborhood that they just started. So we scout out and we start going down there. I swear, and we've had so many of these stories. It's just incredible. Next thing I know, an hour later, we're finding them and we're looking for them.
Yeah. And
we drive out, and we are on the edge of a cliff. I mean, we're on a road that's like washboard road, 1,000-foot drop or 600-foot drop off the side, no guardrail.
Yeah.
And that's the road into this. And I'm going, honey, there ain't no $1 million neighborhood down this road. She's like, well, that's what the realtor said. And we've had realtors have sent us to graveyards, to send us to, just following we've ended up just in the weirdest place out in the middle of a cornfield. And you start going, man, if I was a buyer, I mean, who's going to put up with that?
Yeah,
right.
Of course. No, just hold that thought. The 1-year-old, she just broke in, so I got to take her to get her out.
That's all right.
This hasn't happened yet. This is the first time, Ron. Come here. Where is your mother? I'll be right back, Ron.